Review.
Save the last humans. Keepers detected.
Resogun is a supercharged reimagining of the classic 1980 arcade game Defender.
Released.
From the outside, the unorthodox use of voxels makes it a bit of a curiosity too. These tiny building blocks allow the environment to crumble when enemies crash and explode nearby, culminating in the total destruction of every stage. Its destructible settings taken to the extreme, and an impressive display of next-gen technology to boot. But Resogun isn't a game that relies on visual gimmicks alone. Comparing Resogun to Defender gives you a basic understanding of the game's structure. Both are side-scrolling spaceship shooters that allow you to freely move left or right, and encourage you to rescue stranded humans sprinkled throughout each stage.
Human lost.
Resogun's not entirely similar, with settings wrapped around a large cylinder rather than represented as a looping 2D map. And most importantly, your ship has far greater firepower and maneuverability. Whether you're zipping through waves of enemies, luring them into a trap, or decimating entire phalanxes in a flash, there's rarely a lull in the action. On top of the battle for self-preservation, yours is not the only life worth fighting for. Throughout each stage, 10 or so human captives await rescue, which will only come if you manage to shoot down green keeper ships. These enemies fly solo or in groups, appearing for brief windows of time before slipping out of sight for good. Felling these wardens in flight frees a particular captive, who persists to aimlessly wander around the level, awaiting a ride, or worse, recapture. If you're shot down while they're on the ground, or ignore them for too long and lose sight of the keeper ships, it's the end of the road for the humans. But should you manage to scoop them up and deliver them to one of 2 tractor beams at the top of the stage, you'll collect a reward in the form of points or equipment upgrades. It is challenging to focus on keepers and humans under constant threat when you've got problems of your own. But shield and weapon upgrades are often vital to your continued success. They allow you to absorb an extra hit and extend the reach of your weapons. Realizing this, you constantly need to balance the associated risks and rewards when trying to be a hero. Making the most of a situation and getting out alive requires quick reflexes. Thankfully, Resogun's controls are tight and responsive, and you've got 3 abilities to exploit along the way. Each of your 3 ships comes equipped with a trio of tools: boost, overdrive, and bombs. Bombs in Resogun do what any good bomb should. They blow up everything in sight. There is a trade-off to consider when chasing high scores, though. With no enemies to shoot, it makes it next to impossible to continue chaining kills quick enough to build up your score multiplier. When enemies die, be it from a standard cannon or bomb shot, they leave behind a collection of green voxels that you can collect to fill up your ship's overdrive meter. Once at capacity, activating overdrive expends this energy as an enormous jet for a limited amount of time. Boost might not sound like an ability that feeds into your ship's destructive tendencies, but this evasive maneuver ends with a bang, killing everything in close proximity. Unlike overdrive, you have control over the duration of a boost, allowing you to strategically conserve resources or plow into enemy ranks, destroying them from within. Resogun's controls, presentation, and rapid-fire enemy assaults make for a very exciting experience. You're constantly under pressure, practically suffocating from surrounding swarms of enemies, but you're never without the means for survival either. In this way, playing Resogun is an exercise in twitch gameplay and decision-making. It helps that the accompanying beat of the techno soundtrack and the constant trickle of voxels are so mesmerizing. The only downside to Resogun is the short stack of levels that you get to explore. There are 4 difficulties to choose from, which provide a bit of variety, but the game's 5 stages don't stay fresh forever. Having 3 ships helps, but it doesn't take long for the flow of surprises to dry up and the race for high scores to take over. That said, Resogun remains fun to play even when the joy of discovery begins to fade. It's classic arcade action imbued with hard-hitting artistic and gameplay elements. Falling in love with Resogun is easy. Mastering it is challenging, and the combination makes it almost impossible to put down.
Keepers detected.